Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a pretty wild idea about the future of food. I mean, what if taste itself, the very sensation, is about to become the next huge battlefield for brands? It's shaping up to be a race not just to define what we eat, but to own the very way we feel it.
So let's kick things off with a question that honestly gets right to the heart of the problem. You know that feeling, right? That exhaustion you get from scrolling through just endless five-star reviews, perfect foodie photos, and blogs that all basically scream the exact same thing. It's delicious.
And that's really the core argument from our source material today. The idea is that our whole food culture has kind of hit a wall. We've just reached this point of saturation, where all the words we use, and even the experiences themselves, are starting to feel, well, a little empty. I mean, think about it. We're drowning in options, right? There are just so many menus, so many ads, so many influencers. And what's the result of all that noise? Well, the word delicious has been used so much it's become practically meaningless. We're consuming more food content than ever, but are we actually feeling more? The argument here is pretty clearly no. And this, right here, is the crucial point. The whole game is changing. The next big thing isn't about making a slightly tastier burger or a crispier chip. Nope. It's about who can help us understand and, talk about the experience of eating it. It's becoming a competition for language itself, for meaning. So, okay, if we're all so tired of this, what's the solution? Well, the idea our source material proposes is pretty out there, honestly, and really ambitious. It asks, what if we stopped thinking about taste as just a part of food, and instead we started seeing it as the next huge digital platform? I mean, that just completely reframes the whole conversation, doesn't it? Suddenly, taste isn't the final product anymore. It's the operating system. It becomes the gateway that connects a physical feeling to our memories, to who we are, and even to the culture we're all a part of. And this quote just nails the urgency of it all, the sheer scale of this idea. This isn't just some abstract theory you'd read in a business journal. No, this is being framed as a full-on race. And the winner, they get to define the entire vocabulary, the standards for the whole future of food. So let's break down what this transformation actually looks like. Food stops being just food, and it becomes culture. That fleeting sensation you feel, that becomes cold hard data. And a customer who buys something once, they're turned into a true fan, a long-term advocate. Okay, so this all sounds incredibly cool, but how would it actually work? Like in the real world? Well, let's take a look at the blueprint they lay out. It's called an integrated taste network, and they've actually given it a name, TEMPOSENSE. Right at the heart of this whole ecosystem is this new idea called taste intelligence. You can basically think of it as the software, the brains behind the whole operation. It's a system designed to take something as quick and subjective as a flavor and turn it into something solid, something valuable. So it all kicks off with analysis, but we're not talking about your average taste test here. This is way beyond that. Using AI and officially certified experts, the system actually breaks a flavor down into its fundamental parts. We're talking its rhythm, its texture, the aftertaste, and even the emotions it makes you feel. It literally turns a sensation into data. Okay, now this is where things get really wild. That data, it doesn't just get filed away in some spreadsheet. It becomes the raw material for creating actual culture. I mean, just imagine a TV show where the sensory notes of a dish get turned into a piece of music, or its history becomes a character in a story. We're talking about creating real intellectual property out of a flavor. And finally, to bring it all full circle, the system focuses on education. The idea is to give everyone the tools and the words to really understand their own senses, through things like guided food tours and training courses. The end goal? To turn us from just passive consumers into active, smart taste evaluators. And that leads us to what might be the most important piece of this whole puzzle. You, the customer. Because in this new world, you're not just a target demographic anymore. You become an active participant, someone with a whole new skill set. Just look at this comparison. It lays out the huge shift perfectly. The old way was all about recipes and ingredients. The new way? It's about sensory rhythm and aftertaste. Instead of just trusting some elite critic's score, you're guided by your own data. The goal isn't just to find something delicious anymore. It's to actually understand what's happening on your own palate.
And this is why it matters for every single company out there. The big selling point isn't just having a great product anymore, it's about empowerment. The brands that are going to win are the ones that basically become a partner in their customers' own journey of sensory discovery.
Which brings us right back to where we started, this incredibly high-stakes race to own the future of taste. Because let's be real, if taste really is the next frontier, whoever gets there and maps it out first, well, they get to write the rules for everybody else. And our source material is super direct about what this all means. It's saying we're shifting away from an economy of products and into an economy of experiences. Just making a good thing isn't going to cut it anymore. You're going to have to design the sensation that thing creates.
You know, when you think about it, it already makes sense. When we choose a coffee or a snack or where to eat dinner, we're doing way more than just trying to stop being hungry. We're buying a sensory experience, a specific way to feel and see the world, even if it's just for a few minutes.
And that is the ultimate prize here. This isn't just about grabbing more market share in the old-fashioned sense. This is about owning the entire story. It's about defining the language and setting the cultural benchmarks that the rest of the industry will have no choice but to follow.
So the message here is crystal clear. Right now, this whole market is pretty much empty. It's a wide-open frontier, but it's not going to stay empty for long. That window of opportunity, it's closing, and it's closing fast. This race has already started, whether we see it or not.
And that leaves us with a pretty heavy question to think about. Let's say your competitor defines the language of taste first. They build this platform, they teach the world a whole new way to talk about food. What happens to you if you're still out there just saying your product is delicious while they're talking about sensory rhythm and emotional aftertaste? Will your own customers even understand what you're saying anymore? Something to chew on. Thanks for tuning in.